You know, it's becoming a thing now that we're showing my room a lot. If you're gonna come into my room like this, you should at least buy me dinner. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome, guys, to podcast Charge of the Charger Bulletin. I'm your host, Hector, and we are the Charger Bulletin's #1 news podcast. And as usual in Podcast Charge, we go over the school news of University of New Haven for the week, and then we go into a random topic of discussion. We have a good one for you guys here today. So, without further ado, let's go straight into the news of University of New Haven, see what's going down for this week. We are on episode 24 of Podcast Charge, almost at our 25th episode, and we actually have a special guest coming for our 25th episode. I promise you that it's going to be a fun one. So, the first thing that we have for you guys here today is Samantha Mull was elected the 2016-2017 USGA president, which is very exciting. She was elected. She was chosen by vote. And let's see what we have here. So the Charter Bulletin has interviewed the newly elected USGA president, Junior Samantha Mull. Undergrad, and for those of you who don't know what USGA stands for, is Undergraduate Student Government Association President. So we have an interview up on charterbulletin.com if you want to go and check that out. You can also follow Charter Bulletin on Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for the latest posts and articles for the Charger Bulletin. So definitely go to charterbulletin.com to check out the interview that we have with Samantha Mull. The next news article we have here is Junior Jessica Lieb goes bald for St. Baldrick's. So in the past 4 years, Jessica Lieb has been involved with the St. Baldrick's Foundation through her volunteer fire department. When someone approached her about fundraising for the department, she was determined to do so. So she quickly attained her donation goals of $5,000 and some, so she got more than her actual goal, which is amazing. As a successful shavee volunteer, Lee decided to donate her hair and shave her head. So on March 6th, the junior double majoring fire science criminal justice shaved her head. So she's been bald for quite some time now. Lee's friends and family began offering more money in hopes that she would not shave her head, but this did not discourage her at all. After fundraising efforts were finished, Lieb donated 2 long braids of hair and shaved the rest while surrounded by her friends, family, and fellow volunteer firefighters. The money raised by Lieb was all donated to St. Baldrick's Foundation. The St. Baldrick's Foundation mission is to conquer childhood cancers. The foundation was founded in 1999, and since then they have raised over $100 million for cancer research. As Lee mentioned, participants shave their heads to make children feel better about losing their hair during treatments. And her quote coming from the article, once a child is diagnosed with cancer, they no longer have the choice, so why should I? Said Lee, reflecting on her experience. I think that's a very powerful quote from Jessica there. That once a child is diagnosed with cancer, they no longer have the choice, so why should I? That's a very, very good attitude to have when doing something like this, because shaving your head is not exactly, it's not everyone's top wish list. You know what I mean? So the fact that she's done so, and not only that, but she raised so much money for the program is amazing, and really hats off to you, hats off to you, Jessica. And that begs the question: would you shave your head? Well, I would. I don't think anyone would really notice if my head was shaved, right? Maybe. Yeah, no one would notice. It's a cool. I'll look like a little bit like Lex Luthor too, maybe. Probably not. So let's get into the next article. So UNH celebrates differences. On March 25th, the University of New Haven celebrated diversity, differences, and individualism on a day they deem as UNH Identity Day. According to Kathy Kotz Darango, that's an interesting name, Executive Director of International and Multicultural Programs and Service at UNH, a group of students and staff in 2013 came together and developed the idea of hosting what was initially a diversity fair. The goal is to highlight all the diverse cultures at UNH through various events and discussions and all sorts. Topics discussed at each annual Identity Day include, but not limited to, age, abilities, disabilities, gender expression, identity, stuff like that, race. This year, each discussion was facilitated by different recognized student organizations with a similar objective: to promote and encourage acceptance as well as celebrate differences. The events held included Music Around the World, hosted by WNHU, Celebrate Religious Diversity, hosted by Spell. Black and Latina Women in the Workplace, hosted by Hermandad de Sigma Iota Alpha. I had to think about that real quick. Inc. Can't forget the Inc. As well as Exploration of Gender in America, hosted by Pride. So, a lot of events going on in the past couple weeks or so. Definitely during, maybe before, yeah, definitely before and a little bit after our spring break in March, which was a lot of fun. So, that's it what we have for you guys here on the news portion of Podcast Charge. So a good week to talk about too. A lot of great things happened. So let's get into the random topic discussion we have for you guys here today. And my random topic is stress. This one has been affecting me personally a lot. I'm sure it's affecting a lot of people now. It's like near the end of the school, everything's starting to pile up. For seniors, it's like double that because not only do we have to worry about we had to do good in our classes because we are ending we should end on a high note for our senior year. Some people just won't care and that's their prerogative, but we should end on a high note for our senior year. And we had to, either rather going to our master's or going to graduate school, or we're going straight into jobs, or maybe we're just taking a break. But a lot's going on, and it's starting to really affect myself. Definitely, again, it's hard talking about this kind of stuff, really, because I'm really introverted. I kind of like to keep things closed in, but yet my facial expressions and my body language really say all the emotion that I have. So it's kind of hard to keep things in. People know when something's wrong with me. So when I show stress, it's like it shows a lot. And a lot of people, some people have noticed, especially family will notice that, I'm stressed and all that kind of stuff, but because it's something that really does affect you. I swear, I should just major in stress in college and I'll ace every one of those classes. But it is a hurdle to get over, right? So stress it's a temporary thing. It's where we're at not our strongest, but it's when we're at our peak in a certain point in our life that we have to just go over. It's a hump we need to go over. And we all been stressed before. We all felt this kind of like anxiety and this pressure on our shoulders. But the one thing that can really help us is what makes us happy, or just really what makes us relax. And a lot of that is hang out with friends or even going to the gym, because we do have a recreational facility and University of Haven. A lot of people go there, and I can see why that is a reliever for stress, because you're working out your body and all that kind of stuff. So it does even help for me as well. I have my own stuff set up at home where I have like a pull-up bar, and sometimes that helps if I'm really stressed or I just want to just let out some, not anger, but just let out some emotion, I guess, whatever you want to call it, and do like 10 pull-ups or anything like that, or I'm saying 20 right now. Do 20 of those pull-ups and you're good for the rest of the day, you know what I mean? So, or even just sitting back, reading a book. I like to read comics now. Those are really fun. Playing video games for me definitely is like one of those stress releases, because that just brings me out of the world and I'm confined to my own little space there. But everybody has their own ways of relieving their stress, and I think it's really critical to find that before entering college, or even during college. You can find how you relieve your stress, as long as it doesn't get you into trouble. You know what I mean? It's very, very important to find those relievers of stress, and the sooner you find it, the better. Luckily, I found mine pretty early on in my life, so that's like the one thing I always gone to. But it's also important to not keep that as an excuse. Because once you start using it as an excuse, then that just means you're being lazy. Not saying it's bad to be lazy, just it's bad to be lazy all the time and just not do anything, because then what's the point of going to college, So stress is an interesting thing. It definitely affects a lot of us, though. Just remember that you're not alone. You have friends and you have family. If you're like me, that wants to keep it inside and like not fester, but just thinking about it, like I don't keep it inside because one, it's not other people's problems either way, but it's just the way I think about it is I need to figure out how to manage it on my own, because if one day I may just be alone and I have no one around me and I have to figure out how to do things on my own. So that's the way I think about it. I need to learn how to manage it on my own, but you don't have to be like that. That's me. I'm quite stubborn too. So, but when I really do need help, that's when I do reach out. I really talk to people about it because you can't keep it in all the time. And when you do, and that one time that's really getting at you, then things can start to go bad. Or you just have a complete breakdown. You don't know how to recover from it. So, definitely reach out to people when you feel like the time is right, when you feel like things are really out of your control with your stress issues. Um, but if you feel like you can manage it and it's something that's just a passing thing, then yeah, okay, just do what you gotta do, you know. But yeah, so stress. It's a very short topic that we got for you guys here, but just because I talking about stress uh, is really to the point. You know what I mean? There's not really a lot of beating around the bush when it comes to stress. I'm sure a lot of people have experienced extreme anxiety, extreme stress that we have no idea about on campus because they keep it to themselves and they just manage it and they do well. I know a couple of my friends that they have extreme anxiety and it really does affect them, and sometimes they feel like they don't want to do anything, and it really affects their lives and how they interact with people, but they find a way to just go over it. They find a way just to not ignore it, but to put it aside to really enjoy their lives, and it's proved them great. Like they have fun lives with good friends and great moments and funny moments and moments that make them laugh and all that kind of stuff. So um, it's hard to get over it. I know we can sound like very dramatic when we're stressed or when we have high anxiety, that like the world against me kind of thing, or it's I don't like I'm feeling this pressure and I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. Like we can seem very dramatic, but it is very real. And like from the outside, it seems like, oh, it's just school and studies and just a job. Relax, you have nothing to worry about. You haven't felt real stress. Like it is stress. Like it may seem minor to some people, but it is really difficult for others and for kids in college. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Like from them, the outside, it looks so minuscule, but to us, it really affects us because it's a lot to handle sometimes. So really, we just gotta commend ourselves. We have to not be so modest either. Like, we have to commend ourselves for how much work we do and how much how much dedication we put into our studies and to a job or two jobs or anything like that. Because we want to do stuff, we want to do great stuff, but we don't want to mope around all the time. Like some people, I'm sure some people in this world do, but a lot of people actually want to do something with their lives. And again, it can all pile up and it can all turn to stress. And the only way we can beat it is by going through it, either by managing it ourselves or with other people. I recommend with other people, but again, that's just my opinion. With other people, you get a different perspective. You definitely get that love if you just reach out to other people, and especially friends and family, or even strangers sometimes. College campuses are very friendly. They can be very awkward at times, but they are very friendly. A lot of students are more than willing to help one another because it's the kind of community we built around. So that's the kind of community we encourage and we enforce in West Haven, in New Haven, and throughout our country. So we should do that with one another on campus. So I think that's it for the topic. I think that's it. Really, I just want to give some tips out there and to really not super delve into stress, but to at least make it a thing, because it's definitely out there and definitely can affect students. But you're never alone. That's the one thing. So thank you guys for watching this episode of Podcast Charge. Much appreciated if you give a like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, you can share this vid up on Facebook and Twitter. You can also follow Charger Bulletin on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at Charger Bulletin, or you go to chargerbulletin.com to get your weekly dose of the Charger Bulletin news. Unfortunately, I do not have a copy with me right now, but I'm sure you guys know what it looks like. You can pick it up on the wax every Wednesday on the University of New Haven campus. If you're not a student, just go to charterbulletin.com to keep up with the latest and greatest in University of New Haven. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. I am Hector Maris. I'll see you guys next week for episode 25 of Podcast Charge.